This is the beginning of the vision of Harold Bowers. He and his wife Cheryl began shrimp farming in 1989. Their farm has grown from 13 to 80 ponds and now encompasses 370 acres of shrimp cultivating water. Hi, and welcome to Bowers Shrimp. This video is an all-inclusive guide highlighting what goes on behind the scenes in producing quality farm-raised Bowers shrimp. The shrimp are received in the post-larva stage between the months of March and June. This season, some shipments were flown in from hatcheries in Florida. This video begins at the municipal airport in Palacios, Texas, where the shipment is received by plane and transferred by truck. The shipment is carefully monitored for vitality of the post-larva following the flight. This ensures that the post-larva encounter as little environmental stress as possible. The post-larvae are then transported by truck to the farm in Collegeport, Texas. The post-larvae are then released into acclimation tanks, where the temperature, pH, and salinity of the water can be closely monitored. Careful handling ensures that the stress level on the post-larva is kept to a minimum. When all of the post-larvae are released into the tank, they are fed a liquid feed that parallels their normal dietary intake. The tanks are then transported to the ponds, where the final acclimation will take place. This consists of pumping pond water into the tanks and slowly adjusting the temperature, pH, and salinity levels of the water until it matches those of the actual ponds. This process can take up to 10 hours. Meanwhile, careful testing and documentation of the tank water is done until it has reached conditions that are favorable for the post-larva to thrive in. Before the post-larva can be stocked, the ponds are filled and filtered with low salinity water from the Lower Colorado River Authority. Completely filling a pond can take up to 24 hours. Once the ponds are stocked, feeders dispense custom formulated feed into the water 5 times a day. During the growing season, feeding is done on a round-the-clock basis. Paddle wheels aerate the water. The number of paddle wheels placed in any given pond depends on the acreage of the pond. The ponds are monitored daily to assure that the water provides the optimal living environment for the shrimp. pH, salinity, dissolved oxygen, and temperature readings are taken several times a day. Shrimp samples are taken weekly on each pond to monitor growth, feeding habits, and signs of disease or distress. Harvesting takes place from mid-August to early November. The ponds are drained so the shrimp are pulled to the intake point by the drift of the water. One particular problem faced during harvesting is the seagulls feeding off the shrimp in the draining ponds. This takes considerable manpower to fend them off. Once the shrimp are taken in by the harvesting machine, they are transported by conveyor belt to tubs holding an ice water slush. This instantly chill kills the shrimp, and the tubs are immediately transported to the processing plant in Palacios, Texas. Upon arrival, the tubs are emptied into a vat where they are cold or picked to assure the quality of the final product. Several workers participate in this task. Every shrimp passes through a tunnel, which individually quick freezes them, and afterwards they are passed under a water glaze, which forms a protective layer around the shrimp. This ensures that the shrimp are maintained in their freshest state from the time they leave the pond to the time they enter your kitchen. During this process, they are cold, weighed, and packed, and moved to the freezer within minutes of processing. The freezers store the product at a temperature of minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This year, a second line was added, where the same care and packaging is used in processing from start to finish. The vision of Bauer's Shrimp is continually growing. Harold's son, Reed, now manages the farm and processing plant in Palacios, while Harold has expanded his interest into a shrimp farm in Belize in Central America. Soon the vision will include expansion into the South Texas area, where Reed and Harold will use their knowledge and experience to manage another venture called Bauer's Valley Shrimp. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again at Bauer's Shrimp.